Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Let's Play of Fire Emblem Binding Blade, and we're doing a hard mode this time. It's been a while, but we're back. And joining me today, we have Aeromancer Draco.
Oh boy, this game. How's everyone doing?
We have Blizzard the Speedy.
Hey yo everyone, how's it going?
And we have the Frozen Phantom of Justice. Okay, so basically, we go through the same motions as before. We just let's play the game as usual, and at this point the game's already complete, so if you're going to ask, are you going to use this unit, you're just going to have to wait and see how it turns out. But I am showing off everything again, ladies and gentlemen, and yes, I mean everything. That includes us, both A and B routes and Sakea in the hard mode. God help me! God help me!
Oh great, why are you doing 14x? No!
Hey, because I want to get the full ending.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it makes Roy barely, slightly, 1% EU better? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the true ending, we've got to show off, because again, this was, I showed off normal mode or show off hard mode. So for those who've never tuned into Binding Blade before, technically Blazing Sword came afterwards as the prequel, but it's set 20 years after Blazing Sword, and set in Alive Still, and now Zephyr has declared war on the whole of the continent.
Yeesh, overkill much?
Yeah. Would you want to know the actual story behind it? See, because, alright, in the case of this one, because we're doing the Let's Play again, so when Zephyr died, he went to Heroes, and then he told them his story about how he got killed by Gwendolyn. Everyone laughed and mocked him so hard, he said, fuck it, I'm going back and then doing it properly this time. That's why we're doing hard mode.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or, if you want to get into like a canon term, it was very, very, very bad parenting.
Yeah, to put it mildly.
It's a miracle that... I'm very surprised Desmond didn't end up on top 10 worst dads by Green Scorpion. That's a miracle.
I guess, well, maybe it's because he's one of those ones where, I mean, again, I haven't seen this. Is it one of them? I'm guessing maybe because he's not, he's tied to an NPC, I don't know.
It's not like a playable thing.
Mm-hmm. Also, maybe because he's not as prominent in the story as Garen is.
Yeah, no Fire Emblem characters ended up on there, surprisingly.
Yeah, that is funny, because the series has a reputation for shitty dads.
Yeah, and Three Houses kept that going.
I kind of question why he didn't just try to kill Zephyr himself. Why did he have to hire the Black Fang to do it in the dead of night?
Oh, it's because, if he did it himself, everyone would find out, and they practically mutiny. The king had to do it in secret because he doesn't want to have the blood on his hands. He still wants to maintain his image, so to speak.
And plus, when you're king, you don't get your hands dirty.
Like he did, and then just take the axe.
It's just one of those things. You have to do it in secret. Also, it's because it's like you said, they needed to pin the blame on someone and have that someone be captured so that the public can sympathize with Desmond. And he can play the mourning dad.
Yes, Zephyr faked it. Oh, old Ellawood. Why aren't you the Jagan of this game? You're so much better than Marcus.
Well, dude, Marcus is well, again, technically he's weak, but in terms of what he does, Marcus is, extremely, especially in this mode, he is one of the most useful, especially because he's not so powerful. It's actually one of the reasons he's one of the best Jagans.
I didn't mean him as a unit, I meant character-wise.
Oh, right, well, okay, fair enough. But, yeah, so, the reason Ellawood isn't things is because he suffers from the main thing all Fire Emblem, things suffer from, terrible healthcare.
Fire Emblem, I was gonna say, Fire Emblem Jagans or Fire Emblem Fathers?
Oh, just Fire Emblem in general, everyone suffers from bad healthcare.
Bad healthcare, lazy writing, same difference.
Well, lazy writing varies from game to game, but bad healthcare is universal.
Yeah.
Even in games where you want there to be healthcare, I don't know, maybe Awakening, since it's set years after the events of Marth's games, considering Tiki.
True. I mean, you'd think in a series which has magical healing, the healthcare would be a bit better.
Yeah, I was about to say, when one raise of a staff can make someone go from bleeding out to perfectly fine, you would care would be a little bit better in terms of the actual story impact.
Well, not only that, you have staffs that can put people to sleep, and staffs that heal poison and other status ailments, but they can't heal this type of illness. Like, but you can cure poison. Don't ask.
Potentially, it could be potentially this idea with some like universes pushing magic too far is a problem.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, you know that. Obviously, it's more of a plot type thing, you know, and plus, it's also to make the characters more relatable because you know, illness is one of the most common ways people die.
Yeah.
Or, you know, getting shot by an arrow or killed by magic or even, like, you know,
Well, yeah, but that's more...
an arrow in the knee.
Yeah, well, that's more to do with conflict, whereas illness is like... illness can happen and strike at any time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously...
Speaking of illnesses, and sorry if I'm interrupting, but doesn't this game have the very lazy illness of seize every castle?
Well, whether or not you call that an illness, so to speak, but yeah, basically in Binding Blade, every single map is designed in a way where the objective is to seize all of them. Like, every map is seized, as in, like, no, not just a few, every map is seized, with the exception of the very, very last map, but that's because final boss.
So,
you know,
it's basically reviving Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light.
Well, yeah, it's actually funny you say that, because Fire Emblem Binding Blade borrows very heavily from Shadow Dragon, from the story to some of the character designs and the general overall thing, because back then, like, the last two Fire Emblem games we had before were Thracia and Genealogy, which were radically different, and so for this new series, they wanted to go something a bit safer.
I wonder if that'll happen next with Fire Emblem, because that kind of repeated itself. Because Three Houses, despite I think it is somewhat safe in terms of what it does, it is still kind of
it's one of the more
radical departure.
It's probably the most radically different Fire Emblem games since ever. Well, again, since the GBA era.
Yeah.
Because again, it introduces so many new things and concepts and designs its game around it. So yeah, here we're back with Roy, Eliwood's son, and yeah, we've got to take back the castle. The only thing is now is that the bandits, because it's on hard mode, the task is not nearly as easy, and you'll see why soon.
How does your RNG fare in this one?
You'll see, because I've got a certain running gag in mind.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I hate this game.
Yeah, Arrow's not a big fan of this game.
This is the worst game I've ever played.
And by the way, when he means specifically that he's played, not of all time. That's ridiculous.
Oh, okay. No, definitely not of all of ever, because, I mean, Sonic Boom exists.
Well, there's even worse than that.
Pokemon Troze?
No, Pokemon Troze is absolutely fine. I'm talking about stuff like Big Rigs Over the World Racing or Superman 64, games that barely function.
Yeah.
But I got one on Big Rigs Over the Road Racing.
Yeah, we mentioned that. But yeah, so here we are with Fire Emblem Binding Blade. It's a typical Fire Emblem game, you know, just go through the map, defeat the enemies, and we've got to route the chapter and so on. So basically, yeah. So as you can see, the enemies are a lot stronger. They've got higher stats, they've got a lot more HP, and we haven't changed the bit unless we're playing on hard mode. But we're not unless we have a hard mode bonuses unit, but we don't have one of those at the moment, so we're just going to stick with the base team. But this is where Marcus comes in, because remember how last time I played this game I barely ever touched Marcus and he was thing? Yeah, complete opposite this time around. For the first 8 chapters, just get prepared. We might as well call this Fire Emblem the Binding Marcus.
Just like 7.
Not as much as 7, because 7 I was actually able to get away with not using Marcus that much. This one, no, it's like trying to use, trying to play Awakening, Lunatic, or Lunatic Plus without Frederick. You might as well just turn off the game. It's so difficult without them.
Not everyone uses sword more often with Lance. Am I the only one who finds that kind of ironic?
Wait, sorry, I missed that.
Using swords with Lance.
Swords with Lance. Well, in the first part of the game, you kind of have to use swords with Lance. What, you're going to use lances against the accusers? I don't fucking think so.
Then again,
considering this game's RNG.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, then again, if you don't give Lance a lance, then what's the point of calling him Lance in the first place?
It begins.
That was a 31.
I know.
Game.
But here's the thing. This is what's so good about Marcus. As you can see, Marcus is strong enough that he can take hits, has good dodge, and will put the enemies on extremely low HP, which means that your other units can easily get kills, and that's the key with Marcus. Like, Lance here, yeah, he's doing 8 damage, but it would take, like, you know, 3 more attacks to kill this guy, and I can't wait that long. So, Marcus definitely has his uses.
Yeah.
Just, oh my god.
Of course he missed.
Yeah, Walt, you had one job. You had one job.
The weird thing about this game is, okay, I know technically this isn't, the RNG in this game is technically as the same as 7's, but
yeah, well,
I have no trouble, like, for the most part with 7, apart from maybe level ups. But in terms of, like, hits, not usually, but here...
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing about Binding Blades. It's not that the RNG is necessarily bad. It's the hit rates in this game are shit. The hit, especially axes, the hit rates are so unbelievably low. And in hard mode, that really shows when you go against enemies with higher void in cover. It's the absolute worst, I will tell you. That's why everyone hates the K route so much.
I kind of remember watching this video. I forget who it's by. But it was a review of Binding Blade kind of going over one of its issues in the fact that it kind of lies about some hit chances. Like,
oh, because it uses like the true hit thing.
Yeah. So as a result, it tends to be lower than what's said.
Yeah.
So, that's
yeah.
fun.
Trust me, we're going to see that throughout this playthrough. But yeah, so as you can see with Binding Blade, the enemies are a lot stronger. They've got higher HP, they've got higher attack, and your units, again, they're kind of not, again, this is one of the problems with Binding Blade, they're kind of not designed to take them on. I mean, in this chapter it's fine, but later on, especially until we get to Chapter 8, Binding Blade's early game, especially in hard mode, is kind of disastrous, just because aside from, like, Marcus, the 2 Cavs, and Deke, everyone else is, and maybe Lot, everyone else is useless.
Ouch. Wait, even Ilyana? Or Liliana? Or
Lilina? No, that's the thing. Lilina in this mode technically sucks ass. And there goes, yep, there goes the first critical.
Oh wow, 11.
I was also gonna say, like, oh, it's Lilina. Sorry, I kind of get my mages mixed up sometimes. My apologies.
That's fine. Yeah, no, in this mode in particular, Alina's actually not good because the fact that the enemies are boosted and the fact that she's so frail, she can only, like, she can't double easily, and because they've got so much HP, she can only do about, what, a third of their health? So it's not worth it.
But, okay, I'm sorry, but I need to point this out right now. Even if this game isn't really all that great gameplay-wise, graphics-wise, sprite-wise, dude, this game is smooth.
Yeah,
Even Marcus's color scheme, it's just, that really pops, you know?
That's the one thing GBA Fire Emblem has going for it. The sprite work is some of the best on the system.
I'd say that's probably
also the portraits don't come off at the shoulders on like 4.
Sorry, repeat that.
And also the portraits don't cut off at the shoulders sometimes.
Yeah, the overall composition is just overall better. You know, 4 looked good for what it is, but obviously it was a bit odd in areas and had more limitations. Whereas the GBA is obviously a stronger console, so you can do more with it.
I think this game looks fantastic, but I think 7 just kind of looks better. But that's probably just chalk up to it came out a year later.
So so obviously they have some new sprites and fixing stuff. I think the only one is where it's actually quite noticeable is Sacred Stones, where the portraits are way more detailed.
Sacred Stones is probably the best out of the GBA games. In terms of actual what game looks best graphically, it's between Three Houses and what's it called, Radiant Dawn for me. I lean a bit more towards RD though.
I mean, if you don't count the GBA games, for me, I'd say the best looking graphically, is for the system, all things considered, is probably Fates. Like, Radiant Dawn looks good in terms of battle animations and cutscenes, but in-game character models are kind of eh.
Yeah, I can see that. Fates did actually look pretty good. It's just Radiant Dawn has.
So yeah, Walt's first level up.
About it.
Of course.
Ouch!
Welcome to Binding Blade.
Yeah, that's kind of
you get is rare.
Yeah, that's the thing. Binding Blade's growth spread is low as a whole, except everyone has really high HP for some fucking reason.
It's the main reason I don't use Shauna. I'm sorry. When you already have like base 4 strength and then only get 25% of that, I'm sorry. I don't
here we go.
You're objectively good.
Well, this guy's fucked.
Ooh.
Yeah, but so here's the thing with so because we're playing this obviously again, I'm gonna try. The whole thing is when I play like a game a second time, I try to use different team comps. But because Binding Blade's unit balancing is so bad and this game is so like punishing towards like it has certain favoritism towards units because of hard mode bonuses. I wasn't able to be that flexible with new team members, so you're going to see a few returning characters, but there are some new ones. And obviously, like, I'm going to try and train up on people. Like, again, I tried training Walt in this bit, but it didn't exactly pay off.
Are you ending up using Zeiss?
Yes, straight up, yes. But then again, Zeiss is like one of the units where if you don't use him, you just kind of slap yourself on the forehead.
Yeah, I can see that. Like,
dude, he starts with 19 strength. And he's level 7 Wyvern. Not even Wyvern Lord, just Wyvern.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like a lot of the units in this game. There's only about 3 I like. 2 actually as characters and units, 1 as unit. And those being Percival, because it's Percival. And then Milady. Those are the 2 I like as characters and units, because I'm sorry.
Well, they're 2 of the best in terms of both, to be honest.
It's hard to find. I understand there are such things as bad wyverns. Her name's Altana.
Well, to be fair, she's the only bad wyvern, to be honest. Ooh, that hurt.
Ooh.
Like, again, like, even some of the lesser wyverns, like Baruka or, like, Heath, are still some of the stronger units in their game.
Yeah. And then, I like Rutger more as a unit, less as a character. Because Rutger's kind of...
well, yeah,
but...
Yeah, if Rutger's a unit, oh god, do you even crit?
He's critting McCrit pants, as I dealt him.
Isn't it possible for him to have like 102 crit or something like that?
Yeah, it is. It is perfectly possible to have over 100 crit.
Is that like an error with it showing over 100 crit, or is that... I mean, I highly doubt they even intended him to get 100 crit in the first place.
Probably is an error. Yeah, it probably is an error on their part, but who cares? It's 102%.
There's something I kind of wonder with Binding Blade, is was it rushed? Because there's a lot of stuff in here that just
it kind of was, because I looked into this, because they had to, again, this was originally Fire Emblem 64, but then they had to scrap a lot of ideas, especially because the main series director, Kaga, left. So obviously this is kind of, not to say it was rushed, but it was kind of haphazard. To be fair, Path of Radiance, apparently the director said it was only 70% complete by the time we released it. So, yeah.
Path of Radiance doesn't feel rushed at all, though.
It doesn't, but then again, some of the stuff in Radiant Dawn, obviously some of the like tweaked mechanics and so on, show that there was obviously stuff missing from Path of Radiance.
Yeah. I mean, I still prefer Radiant Dawn because Radiant Dawn is amazing, but...
Yeah.
Like, I always got a rushed vibe with this game. Also, also, partly, I think they were on drugs when they came up with some things. Hello, Chapter 14!
Well, every Fire Emblem game has that one moment where you just ask the devs, why? Just why?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that the only game I don't have that with is the one that's tied for favorite, that being 7. Because you could argue Battle Before Dawn, but Battle Before Dawn makes sense in a story context.
Oh yeah, very much so. I mean, you could also argue like why, the half. I mean, even then, like, half damage makes sense, well, kind of makes sense because new players and, like, Lin tutorial mode, again, this was the first Fire Emblem game in the West. It's one of those ones where, in retrospect, it doesn't make sense, but for the time it was released and in the context of the game, it does. But whether or not that's good or bad, that's up to you. Anyway, so...
Radiant Dawn.
Well, Radiant Dawn has many, trust me. Radiant Dawn has many.
Enough said.
Yeah,
Battle Before Dawn's design so makes a bit more sense if you're considering the fact that they only play-tested or mainly play-tested normal mode, because normal Eliwood mode, it's fine. Hector hard mode...
that's where it gets a lot harder because the AI is more aggressive, and they actually changed their positioning as well, so yeah. But, that was the beginning of Binding Blade Hard mode, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lot more to come, and thank you very much to all my co-commentators for joining me.
Thanks for having me on.
Glad to be back again.
This is kind of fun.
Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And so next time, we're just going to keep moving forward with the game. We're going to meet up with Deke and his group, and then we're going to meet Princess Guinevere. But I hope you're all enjoying it. We'll see you all next time. Take care, stay safe, and have a wonderful day, everyone.